Hey guys, hope you're all having a fantastic day out there, and thank you for joining me in today's lesson video. I know it's been a little while since I did a lesson video, so forgive me, but hey, we're back and that's all that matters, right? Today we're going to be talking about sweep picking. I know I made a video on this topic before, but there were a few key points that I missed, and I feel like the video wasn't as good as I would have liked it to have been due to some audio issues I had at the time. Hopefully this time around will be a little better. Now, it's important to note that this video is not intended for the absolute beginner, okay? Beginner intermediate is fine, but not beginners. So if you are an absolute beginner watching this, work on your fundamentals first before jumping into sweep picking. Now, I also recommend warming up both hands before attempting these exercises, or really any exercise in general, right? You should always be stretching your left and right hand before and after playing, and I think you should also take some time into doing some basic chromatic warm-ups. All right, so with the left hand, there's a few things to consider. Left-handed muting, okay? So muting technique with the fingers in the left hand, as well as tension. Those are the two things I really want to focus on right now. So I'm not even going to play with my right hand, right? I'm just going to kind of mute the strings. Forgive the humming sound of the Boss Katana. It's a little better than the last video at least. But yeah, so what we're going to do here is just do a legato out of nowhere. I'm just going to kind of press lightly on the string. Okay? And then I'm going to mute it. So I'm going to push down just enough to make the string ring, and then go back up to mute it. But I'm not pulling off like that. You want to push, mute. Very important. After it's muted, do the same thing on the next string. Just kind of get used to doing that motion a few times, right? Okay. Now the pinky. And then just kind of work your way through the arpeggio. So. Now the left-handed muting technique I was talking about is important here because when you push on the string, you need to make sure it lifts up just enough to not pull off, but to kill the note after so it doesn't bleed into the next note. This is really important in sweep picking, and one of the biggest issues that beginners and intermediate players make when they're attempting it, because you hear this. Everything's kind of bleeding, you hear that? So you should hear nice and clean. The next part here is also really important. You don't want to hold down multiple things at the same time. This is also part of the left-handed muting, right? Because obviously if you're holding down multiple things, you can't mute properly. But also, you're using a lot of tension by holding down multiple things. So don't hold down two strings at once, right? It may look like I'm doing that because my hand's always close to the fretboard, but I'm never holding down more than one thing at a time. I'm just lightly placing my fingers there. See? I'm bouncing. See the knuckles? Now the right hand does have a role as well. You're muting usually the strings above where you're playing. So if I'm playing on the G string down, I'm going to be muting basically the top strings, right? So my hand's kind of going up and down as I go. So if I'm sweep picking here, hand's above the string a bit, and I'm sliding down as I go. So again, you're not being stationary, right? With the thumb here, it's also really important in the left hand to be completely loose. You don't want to be stationary with the thumb either, because if you are, your hand's going to feel more cramped and more tense because you're forcing your thumb to stay in place. The thumb should be mobile, right? It's just a placeholder. It comes in handy once in a while to have pressure in the thumb, but that's not the main goal. Right? Our goal right now is just to kind of be floaty, relaxed, keep a nice C shape in the hands. Try not to keep your thumb too high, of course. Keep it in the middle of the neck or slightly above the middle. That's fine. But make sure that as you play, you're sliding your thumb along with you. So you're not just, keeping yourself stiffly in one area. You don't want to be rigid. All right, now let's talk about the right hand and what it's doing when we're sweeping, okay? It's not just a simple rake. And it's not as simple as just picking down either, okay? It's very, very tricky to get this right because a lot of people will end up picking a note. And you don't want to pick the note. What I mean by that is you don't want to intentionally have a... See my hand? I'm picking intentionally. You don't want to hear that on the ups or downs. It should sound like the pick's just doing its job in a controlled way with gravity. Okay, we're controlling gravity, controlling chaos. So down, 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 down. What's happening here, I put the pick on top of the string. I'm not pushing, okay? I'm not displacing the string, just placing it there. I slant the pick a little, right? I'm just kind of rotating, going with the feeling of how my arm wants to go, and let the pick fall through and land on the next string. Let it fall through on the next string. We're just controlling gravity. Now we come back up. It's a little trickier, right? Because we have to do an upstroke pattern, so there's a little bit more of intent going on, but still not too much. Just kind of feeling it glide through. Okay, down, 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 up, 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 up. So we're gonna do that pattern now with the metronome doing 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now triplets. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and All right, now let's try combining both hands together, doing the A minor arpeggio we talked about earlier. Okay, so doing quarter notes. I'm going to do a hammer-on the A and the little E string. So. All right, now let's do 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, a little sloppy, but you get the idea. Let's try doing triplets. I'll do my best not to screw this up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, you get the idea on that. So again, we're doing the hammer-on pull-off part. We're going to go back and do the picking extra part after this. So if you don't want to do the hammer-on pull-offs, stay tuned for the next section. Now you could do 16th notes also. So like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Sloppy timing. Again, you get the idea though, hopefully. Now let's talk about if you were to pick the note instead of hammering on. So this would be a little different, right? Down, down, up, down, 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 up. Okay, a little weird. So again, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, 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 down, up. I know it's weird. Okay, one more time. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, 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 down, up. Very awkward, I know. All right, so let's go ahead and start this off with quarter notes for this exercise. And okay, that's how it should sound. Now 8th notes, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now triplets, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, you get the idea on that one. All right, so that's a really good one to work on for your left and right hand technique. Right, and you could put this at various BPMs depending on where you feel comfortable and where you feel like you struggle. Definitely get like a journal or notebook and write down where you left off. Like, oh, I was doing 16th notes at 120. I don't know, 150 or whatever. I was doing 80, which is pretty slow. but that's just for the purpose of the video. I'll show you guys faster stuff in a little bit. Now, this is, you know, a 6-string arpeggio pattern in A minor, and there's, you know, variations. You can do obviously augmented ones. You can do 7th chord arpeggios. You can do 9th arpeggio patterns. You can do whatever arpeggio you want, diminished. The whole goal here is just to get you comfortable with the technique first before jumping into crazy patterns. Another really common thing besides the 5 and 6-string arpeggio sweeps is to do the 3-note, like, you know, triad shapes on the bottom using the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string. Those are really, really common. I'm going to show you a sequence now that I put together for you guys. You can get the tab for free, by the way, in the description box below. So don't forget that. But going from A minor into like a diminished pattern, right? So it looks kind of like this. I'm going to go ahead and show it for you guys. We're going to go. Okay, so this here, minor, diminished, or diminished 7th, I should say, back minor, diminished. So let's do this again. So the difference here is I added a pull off in there, right? So let's say we speed this up just a hair, and let's work on this basic one. I got this set at 92 beats per minute. So. Now that was sloppy on my part because these notes almost ran into each other, which, you know, it's going to happen from time to time. So it's a good thing we practice it. It's also good to work on different finger patterns, because sometimes you might be playing a solo or improv and you might jump across doing this instead of doing your pinky. So it's good to train both and to have them down really solid, okay? So again, that's a really fun pattern, and we'll do it a little faster, just kind of give you something to mess with. Yeah, a little faster again. You get the idea on that. We'll speed it up again. All right, now let's talk about the picking sequences that you could apply to this exercise and what I personally do. I personally am doing a down, pull off, right? So down, up, down, down. So again, down, up, back to down. So down, up, down, down. Now the alternative way to do this, you could do upstroke, up, up. So the whole time, just upstroking everything. And then down, down. Right, that kind of thing. Or you could do up, up, down. Right? This could be useful, right? Just changing up one pattern like that. You could also do up, down, up. All right, so we've covered fundamentals with the left hand and right hand, as well as technique in both hands. We've discussed timing a little bit, how you should practice. We've also discussed the different arpeggio shapes, right? Doing the 6-string, 5-string, and 3rd-string arpeggio positions. All right, now I'm going to show you something a little extra credit, if you will. Something I do personally in a lot of my music because I like the sound and I like the feel. And you might too, who knows? Let's see if you guys can catch what I'm doing. So, I don't know if you guys could see that. It's a little sloppy, but... Okay, what's happening is I'm going down, up, down. Okay, I'm playing a note twice. or just once on the ending. Alright guys, I'm going to move on to the final section here and show you some exercises you can do with the metronome to really hone in on your timing as well as your sweep picking ability. Make sure to get your free tabs below in the description box. They are completely free. If you want to donate to my PayPal and support with $1 or whatever or nothing, that's fine too. I got that link down there for you as well. So I'm going to put the metronome on and show you these exercises. Feel free to play along. It's also important to note that it's a Tux guitar file. So you're going to need the Tux Guitar program, which is also free. And I promise you, it's not a big program. It's not going to take up a bunch of space. Super easy to use, really convenient. And it's basically just like Guitar Pro. Okay, you can open up any Guitar Pro file with that. And it's super helpful, trust me. Okay, so here we go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it kind of helps you out. If not, be sure to hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or leave me a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, okay? Again, be sure to download your free tabs. I will see you guys in the next video. Rock on.